Today we're being joined by a very special guest from the Claremont WAFLW Football Club, Georgia Webb. Georgia, thanks for coming on.
That's all good. Thank you for having me.
Now, well, first off, I know actually tell us a bit about this, but now obviously you're part of that long and the biggest ever Scoops Golking Challenge I've ever done. How do you feel you went, Georgia? I think you did pretty good.
Look, from not having kicked a goal in a while, I think I did all right. My snap and check side let me down, but we won't talk about that. But no, I was pretty happy with the fact that I still got my set shot in my back pocket.
That's right, absolutely. Well, you got 19, 3 goals, 1 out of 5 shots. I mean, I think you did pretty well. You're in the top probably 6 or so pretty good achievement. Now, who do you feel better? Well, I know Karis got the win, but was there any key sense, any particular teammates of yours? How do you feel Razor and the co went?
I think Andrew could have done better. Let me down a bit. Beck was the same. Let me down a bit there. But I reckon Karis was pretty good.
She was. She definitely was. Sorry?
It would have been good. Kingy was up there as well. She was funny.
Absolutely. I mean, it was great to see the chemistry between you two. Because it started off like Kingy was the one going to go through. I think she hit the first 3, and then
she missed one in front.
That's right, exactly. So that probably stuffed her up, and Karis kind of got through from that avenue. I was just telling Anjo before or the other day about this when I was actually editing on the plane back on the Sunday night. She actually was in the top 3. She wasn't equal third to qualify for that. So her maths screwed herself over. She actually got the most out of everyone. I know.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, that was mine too.
Still let me down.
She definitely did in that aspect. I mean, Kayla got a free rod and she almost won off a 10 to Kelly. That would have been awkward. But anyway.
Kayla should have won. Her kick in the kickoff should have just sealed the deal instead of doing the spins. Yep, I reckon Kayla should have won.
Yeah, the spins. That was Jamie's and Andrew and Kayla's idea to do that, not mine. That was theirs. But anyway. It is what it is. Appreciate you coming on for that. Now, tell us a bit about yourself, what type of player you are and what got you into footy.
Okay. So player, I was a forward originally. Played forward all my footy career. This will be my 7th or 8th season in footy. 4th season at Claremont. Pretty much just we started Auskick, but that was only for a year, and that was kind of just because Dad to get us down, have a go. And then in school in year 10, we had an elective where it was girls AFL, and I needed to have something else to fill up my timetable. So at that point in time, I was kind of just like, oh yeah, footy, like it looks cool. Okay, I'll give it a go. And then from there, I joined the school team, and then Morris Junior Football Club, and then pretty much just went from there.
That's good. So obviously you said you used to play as a forward. What position do you kind of play now? And do you still mix between a few positions, or are you more set to one spot now?
More set to one spot now. I've swapped to the other side of the oval. I'm now halfback, which is a bit daunting when I first started, but absolutely loving it now. My coach ever sees this, he'll have a huge smile on his face saying, oh yeah, I actually know what I'm doing. But yeah, no, been really good. I've been able to show a bit more of my strengths in my long kick. And still working on a few different things, trying to get my mind from attacking to defending, but so far so good.
That's good. Well, I can argue the coach comment here. I think Georgia did pretty well as a forward in the goal kicking challenge alone, and I mean, I'm not the only one to say this, Georgia. I thought probably you were the most consistent set shot kicker of the set shot kicks because of you nailed those three, and the pockets were what they were. So, and yeah, I was talking. I'm not the only one that says, and I thought you did pretty well. And even when I'm those posts, yeah, search shots were really good, and that's something I'm sure when you were playing up forward is something that you were good at.
Yeah, definitely something that I backed myself in more than other things. Once I had a mark inside 50, yeah, I kind of just was able to have a breathe and knew that I could back myself in having a set shot. And most of the time going in, there was a few things when I would think too much and absolutely shank the kick out in the full. But other than that, it was pretty good.
That's good. So obviously, you mentioned it briefly there, some of your strengths as a footballer. What would you say overall is some of your strengths as a footballer on the field?
I would say my maybe my read of the footy. I think sometimes I get myself into a good position where I can just be in the right spot to take a mark. My long kick, I reckon that's another one that I back myself in, but almost maybe think of it too often.
Okay. We witnessed that on the weekend.
Yeah. I'm having a bit of a mind blank.
That's fair enough. I mean, you've named a few there, and it's good to have. You know, it's versatility is key. I know you said you're more set to the defense now than when you used to be in the forward line, but even you can still be versatile if you're playing the same position. Like you mentioned, you could be with a defender, you could be a running halfback, you could be a good long distance kick, as you mentioned. You could be a one-on-one defender. So there's all these other facets, and not necessarily being just a position and being just one thing. You can still be a few type of players in the one spot.
Yeah, I think a few of my teammates also do that really well, can kind of play anywhere. I think that's something our whole club kind of prides themselves in, kind of being able to learn all the other positions. So then you're not just, learning your position, but learning like the mids, how they do it. So then you can also know, okay, this is what they're going to do. This is their strengths, to then kind of help yourselves when it comes down your end.
Absolutely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you got your first round one game tomorrow is against the Districts. How do you go against it? Obviously, competing against some of those girls that may or may not be playing tomorrow. How do you feel you'll go? First off, is the season as a whole, and particularly tomorrow against the Districts?
As a whole club, or me personally?
Both.
Me personally, I'm pretty nervous. A bit nervous to go in. I played them last year, but go in and defend and not attack again. I'll definitely back myself to just go through all the processes. But that's definitely a bit nervous for that. But as a whole club, I reckon we have just gone from strength to strength. So honestly, I've got no doubts that we'll just go out there and play our game. And from what I've seen, how we've gone in pre-season matches, we are looking pretty good. But again, it's just all about what happens on the day. So, but I reckon we are looking pretty good.
That's the way to go. Now, throughout your time, you mentioned playing footy for around 8 to 9 year range. So have you ever had any individual success throughout that time, whether that's in regards to rewards or premierships as well, or team premierships as well? Has there been any of that throughout your journey?
Yeah. So in my last year of junior footy, so that was two years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was able to play the first kind of half of the season in Rogers. Had a small injury, so missed a few games, and then came back, played the rest of the Rogers. We didn't make finals that year, so I was able to go back to my junior club and play like the minimum amount of games that you could to play in the finals.
Yeah.
We finished third, went into finals. There was North Beach, I think it was, who was undefeated until the end of the season. Last game that we played them and we won,
Nice.
which was nice. And then, won both the semi and prelim. I had to choose to play the semi or the prelim because I had 2 finals left to play. So, yeah, it was either semi-final and pray that my team could get it done in the prelim, or wait for the semi, they may lose, and then I just wouldn't play again, or So I decided to play semi, wait in the prelim. That was pretty good. I think we got them to like 2 points, and we kicked like 7 goals. So it was good. And then grand final, we won. I think I managed to kick 3 goals.
3, that's good. So that's why you were 4.
Yeah. And then, that was 2023. Sorry, 2021. Then 2022, I had another year in Rogers. And then towards the end of the season, I was actually playing Swans. Played the Rogers game, and then the Rezzies was still a thing. Got called up to play the same day, the game after. Kicked 4 goals for Rogers that day, and then the coach kind of said to me, can you continue your streak, just kick at least 1 or 2? And then I kicked 5 in the Rezzies game.
Better.
Yeah, look, that's probably the best that I've ever done ever. And then we went on to win the Rezzies grand final, which I was lucky enough to play in for that as well. So I had 2 back-to-back premierships. And then
nice. Then 4 goals, 5 goals, 2 premierships.
Yeah. And then that year, I think I was tied leading goal scorer with Beck.
Oh, with Beck Anderson. Interesting. Yeah. Were you using the same team at that point, or was it all different?
We were in the same team. So the Rogers, my first Rogers year, I think, we're both in the same team, and got, joint leading goal scorer for our club, which was pretty cool.
Definitely. I mean, no one could really, or not many people, in fact, someone I interviewed, I'm going to tell you, this is dead set true. They had played 3 different sports in the same day, all grand finals, and won all 3 in 3 different sports in the same day.
Wow.
I know. And when you bring in yours up, which is still bloody impressive to play, and considering you contributed in yours, they said they didn't really contribute in all 3 games, but you contributed in 2 major grand finals, 4 and 5 goals. And now you're going to tell the coach, this is where I perform well, or better, the spot to be. But no, that's really good. And how hard was it to be said about having to, choose which semi or prelim to miss? When you made that decision, was it a decision that was pretty easy to pick, or was it something you had to mull over a little bit? And how hard was it to actually make that call?
I knew that if we won the semi, we'd have to play the premiers from last season in the prelim. So that definitely weighed on my mind. So I was chatting to my coach for 2 weeks because we knew we were in the finals. And then we did the calculations, and we found out I could only play 2 finals, and then straight away we were like, so what do we do? Do we play you in semi? I was stressing even when we got to the prelim and it was the 4th quarter and we were up by 5 goals. I was still siren blow already. I just want this to be over so I can be okay, cool, I made the right decision. Because that was definitely the whole 2 weeks. I was stress. But then we made it, and I was like, okay, cool, I can breathe. But we've also got grand final next week, so
absolutely, that's good. So, of the 2 grand finals, which one would you say is your most memorable one of the 2? And how nervous were you in between that first grand final, where you couldn't really celebrate at any point, really, because you got the next game probably within an hour, I'd say, of each other?
So actually, the first grand final was the grand finals were a year apart. So I had, yeah.
Gotcha. It's still okay, not one year, but that's it's still impressive to basically go back-to-back seasons of having premiership.
They were definitely. I definitely was stressing about both. My favorite one, I think, the Marist, my junior football one, had some meaning behind it, not just winning for us, but we had one of my teammates who had an injury and couldn't play. Had a pretty bad injury. So yeah, we were kind of playing for her. And yeah, it was just so good to be able to put a medal around her neck at the end. But yeah, also being able to then go and play in the Resis after playing Rogers, and probably I think I played 5 Resis games, and then lucky enough to get into that one as well. My first finals feel in WAFLW, and then winning that as well, having all the girls back me, that was also really cool.
That's good. So you're only 19 right now, and obviously, as we say to everyone says, it's not the end of the world. If you miss out on your draft and in the draft there's all these other avenues, as injury replacement players, which I'm sure you're aware of fully, and then all these other positions as well. So I'm sure that's still something you want to get into and kind of just back it up in the form that you do at WAFL level.
Yeah, definitely. I know that there's more than one way to get in there. Didn't know there was that many at the start of last season, but my sister has managed to squeeze her way in, so who knows? Fingers are crossed.
That's good. So has Mackenzie given you any advice on how to handle these type of scenarios, where you missed out, and obviously she got put in a different way to what 3/4 of the comp do going through the draft process? How much help has she given you into the process of how she's got into it and how she's enjoyed it so far?
I think she hasn't really spoken about it, but just being able to see her going through all of that anyway, obviously being with her every day. I guess going through the whole process of being a train on, getting the first call up. I remember I think I just finished work and she rang me and she was like, I just got off the phone, because she was Freo train on first. She was like, I just got off the phone with the Freo list manager. I'm a Freo train on. And I was like, sorry, what's that? What's a train on? What do you do? Like, what? And then, she told me that she gets to train with the team once a week. And I was like, that's really cool. And then the next year, Eagles was the same thing. And then we kind of got told that Eagles were looking for an injury replacement player. And Mac was in contention. And so we're all kind of like, you can't do anything except do what you do on the training field. And just watching her put in all the effort and really back herself in just doing what she could do best. And then finding out that she was the person that they selected was just wow. I remember I was in the car and she told us, and I cried. I was like, oh my goodness, what the heck? That's so cool.
Absolutely. I'm sure it obviously, clearly, every moment of getting drafted is awesome. But sometimes I feel like this way is better because it's probably more least expecting than the draft where, you kind of start hearing things where, yes, you might hear it this way, but it's also pretty cool because, injuries, you don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. I think she's always rather, draft night, the whole atmosphere around the draft night. I reckon, she was definitely sad when her name didn't get called out the first time, but that sad period was like that block, and then it was like, okay, well, it's over, it's done. And obviously it didn't deter her because now look where she is. She's got another season of AFLW.
Absolutely right. That's right. Now, obviously, for yourself this year, what's some goals, Georgia, you see for yourself this season?
I think just the main one is consistency. Just to have in being in the league side the whole time. That's my first goal. Whoops. And then just backing myself in all of my, I guess, strengths, improving on my weaknesses.
Yeah.
And yeah, just playing the best that I can every game. Mistakes, no mistakes, just putting my best foot forward. And
That's good
see
stuff.
how we go.
Absolutely. Who did you grow up supporting?
So grown up supporting West Coast. So again, when Mac got the call up that she was going to West Coast, I was like, you lucky duck. That's really cool. No. But then Dad has been Carlton, so now I'm kind of
yes. Bit of both. That's good. Is that through both competition or more just towards the men's, or a bit of both?
Women's, I've kind of I guess followed Freo because they were in the club in the league before West Coast. And then having a few Claremont girls get drafted to there as well before Eagles was still a thing. Followed them, and then Eagles. Now I've got a few friends at Eagles. Mac obviously getting picked up there. So yeah, kind of still follow both of them for women's. Yeah, I reckon I'll just back that way for the women's side.
That's fair. So how is it though? Say when Carlton and West Coast do come up against each other, it must feel a bit different.
Yeah. I'd say I'd still be like, West Coast, please win. But recently, I actually went to the game last year that they played here, the boys team, and I was just kind of like, this is a good game. Charlie Curnow is one of my favourite players. So, yeah, it was pretty cool to see him get that many goals. On one end, I was like, Eagles, that's kind of sad, but it wasn't as hard to watch as
some other times.
Game that they lost.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, I think that's when Charlie hit 10 or 11 or something, wasn't it?
10.
Oh, no,
10.
Yeah. Yep. Just a lazy 10.
Just a lazy 10.
Absolutely. Who's some of your favourite teammates, Georgia, down at Claremont?
Ooh. I'd say favorite teammates. Ones that always, I guess, keep it happy and you're never not smiling around them would be Mbonza, Tomo, Charlotte Tompkin, even Jamie Harkin as well. Those three just never fail to make you laugh. But then also, I guess, in the backline now, I've kind of really been able to lean on a lot of people. So like Kobe, Claire. Claire's been coaching and playing, and just being able to go up to her and tell anything. And then also on the field, when the ball's anywhere near her, as soon as she goes up in a contest and marks the ball, you just go, okay, now set up because she's going to get this and she's got it and you're fine. So yeah, definitely those ones. And then I can't really, there's a few, but last two mentions would be Adele Arnup as well. Just always can go to her for anything, advice about footy or anything else. And then Anjo as well, who we got over from East Freo. That's definitely someone I'm looking forward to playing with tomorrow.
Very good. There you go against Jamie and a bunch of the other girls that you'll be competing. Who some seen last week. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, shall be interesting. Definitely. It was kind of good because there was a lot of Swans girls, and they're all forwards. And I'm a backy, so I was kind of just taking on what they were doing and seeing my opposition for this week.
That's actually a really good coincidence as well, because now you can kind of know how they actually kick in front of goals as two instead of imagining how they. You might know how the chemistry is between them all as well. I think Gemma Sly was one, so there's a bunch of them there that were there, and a few of your team as well. So maybe they might have said the same thing, but we'll have to wait and see how you go tomorrow. Hopefully, it's a good one and a close one. But we'll see. Is leadership, Georgia, something you've ever been a part of at junior level? Is it something you ever want to get into in the future?
I think I definitely thought about it in junior footy, and then again this year, but kind of also not really yet. Haven't really had a full season in just one team, so kind of just trying to work on doing everything for myself first before, and like gaining all the knowledge that I can before, I guess, trying for leadership, and then being able to give everyone else the best that they can from a leader. So yeah.
I agree with you, because if you're trying to settle in terms of a consistent games played and everything like that, you don't want to juggle too many things at once. And I mean, you can still always, and I've said this to everyone, you don't have to have the title captain, vice captain, or in a group leadership group be helping in some form.
Yeah, definitely. I think even at Claremont right now, we have a vice captain and 2 co-captains, but there's so many more leaders within the group that it's not just those 3 that we can go to. It's pretty much, there are everyone you could go to, and they do the same, have the same characteristics as a leader. So that's been really good.
So if you were to use an AFL AFLW player comparison to the type of style of play that you play like, who would you say?
Oh, that is a hard one.
Yes, a toughie. Stumja.
Yep. I'd say someone I kind of would like to, I guess, be like would be like Bonnie Toogood or even Charlie Thomas. I think both of those two, just the way that they go about their footy, and some of their skills and their, I guess, their strengths, would be something that I would like to have in my game as well.
That's actually, it took you a while to think of it, but it's 2 really good options, I reckon. Bonnie's a gun keeper, and Charlie is one of the best young key defenders in the comp. So that's that's 2 options. I mean, if you think of someone that probably plays something similar, but maybe Ella Roberts comes to mind as well, someone that can play at either end of the ground, something that you've obviously played as well. Yeah.
Ella Roberts is definitely someone I'd also love to play like, but I think I have a bit to go to get to her level. I've been because of Mac, been able to actually speak to her and become friends with a few of the Eagles girls. But those Ella and Charlie are just somewhat 2 that have just gone from WAFLW to AFLW and just excelled there. So
so they've both been killing it, and I'm sure they will for how many more years they've played, which is probably 5 years. So who loves the limelight, the attention, and the camera at Claremont and can't get enough of it?
I did watch the one with Kobe, and Kobe said Jamie. I would definitely agree with her, but also I don't know if she necessarily loves the camera, but when she's in front of the camera, she knows what to do, and that's Adele Arnup. She's definitely, once she has a microphone, she knows what to do.
Good. That's good. It's a good thing. Nicknames, Georgia. Do you get any nicknames? I'm sure Webb is one.
Yeah, so I've had a few thrown around. G Webb was kind of the first one, bit obvious. G as well, that's kind of my just in general nickname. I've had Cheese as well, as
Okay.
in mac and cheese.
Of course.
And then my new one this year, which I'm kind of liking, is Giwi.
Kiwi.
Yeah. So my coach was putting up the selection for one of the scratch matches, and he took a photo of the whiteboard where he has all of the selection names and stuff. And on the whiteboard there was reflection, and you couldn't see the B's in my name. So it was just on the board, it just said Giwi, and then someone yelled it out, and it pretty much just stuck from there.
Gee whiz? Well, that doesn't.
No, I like Giwi. It's easy to say.
That's
well.
that's very true. Any coaches' pets?
I don't think there'd be more like coach's pets from what I deemed to be a coach's pet, but I guess everyone kind of, when you talk about the coach's pet with like, oh, like we make sure that everyone listens, or there's just one person that's like everyone like shush, like the coach is talking, like trying to get on their good side. I think that's just everyone in general. But if I had to list a few people, I wouldn't necessarily say pets, but Jamie and Mbonza are two that are definitely like high up there with respect the coach. But wouldn't say that they're coaches' pets.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Any outside of footy interests that you have, any, and also any favourite TV shows or movies?
I don't really have time to watch TV shows anymore. I kind of just go footy, uni, eat, sleep, repeat. But I used to always, in high school, just if I had time, would go put some Friends on. And then, I watched it that many times that it would just be in the background doing whatever, writing some notes. If I wasn't feeling too well, Friends would go on, sit in my room. That's probably all I can think of.
That's a good option. What do you feel, Georgia, is the best individual game you've ever played in? Would it be that game where you kicked 5 in the call-up game?
I think actually, I would say even the Rogers game before the Resi's game that I played, two games in that day, I think both of them, obviously I played well enough in the Rogers game to be like, well, she's playing this good, we can get her in the next game. I was definitely feeling very confident in that Rogers game, and then thinking about it, I was like, well, if I've done that well, you're obviously doing something right, so just keep going the way you are. And so that day has probably been my best game so far.
So what would you say is the best goal that you've been playing at in the past?
This one actually isn't hard to think of. So my league debut last year, I got the ball on the run from just outside the 50, ran inside and kicked not entirely sure how far it was, around 30 to 40, maybe 40 plus, I don't really know, but kicked a check side when I had two people running at me, and it went in, and I fell on the floor and looked at it, and I had Tomo next to me, and she was like, "That's going in," and I was like, "No, it's not," and I turned around and it was, and I was like, oh my gosh. So definitely that one. I think being able to kick a goal on your debut is something that everyone would love to do. So
that's what I agree. And I mean, where was that last week then?
I know. My check side let me down. That's normally something
Especially-
I can pull out somehow, and it would be good. But no, let me down. Kick the middle
That's
of the ball last week.
So it always happens on sometimes. So good. So was that goal ever filmed?
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Was
have you got the
the-
replay of that, and do you watch it over again?
I definitely watched it a few times. I think I was just more shocked that I actually kicked it than being like, oh, look, I did that. Yeah. Watched it a few times over. I think just I watched that game over and over again anyway. My first league game was definitely one that I'll remember.
That's good.
So, yeah. The goal is just an added bit on the side that I get to watch over and over again.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, I mean, anyone that they would never watch their goal back, if they've got footage of it and they say they don't watch it, I don't really blame them, but love the honesty. Now, goal celebration. Did you get a chance to pull out a goal celebration in that moment? If not, or if so, what is your best goal celebration you've ever done?
I don't think I celebrate goals. I don't think I kind of just turn around and high five my friends and then get on with it. But the league goal, I think, yeah, I turned around and it went in and I just threw both my arms up and I was like, yay. But yeah, no, I think that's like the only one I've actually celebrated.
That's fair enough. Is it now? I know you're playing on the other side of the field now, but if you ever do get the chance to kick on again, is there any celebrations that you would consider doing or think of doing or have thought of doing?
I'd probably just laugh. If I get a goal this year, I'd just laugh and be like, oh, I've still got it. I'm a backliner, but I'm still going down there further enough to be able to get a goal. Probably just do the one arm and then
Run back.
myself back all the way to the backline.
That's fair. Mark or goal of the year? Which one would you rather do and why?
Ooh. I think now, I reckon I'd rather do mark of the year.
Okay.
If you asked me last year, it'd be goal. But yeah, I think taking away goals from my game, being able to just take a nice, strong, good mark, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
It definitely would be. And I'm sure if it's filmed, which obviously your matches are now, it'd be nice to get a good, hopefully there's a photo as well, or just screenshot from the video, and a nice new profile picture out of it. That'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Definitely would be. I mean, and you can't go wrong, honestly, with that answer 50-50 all the time. I get split answers. I choose goal, but then again, you know, everyone's 50-50. You can't go wrong either way, regardless. Toughest opponent, Georgia, you've ever had to match up on? If it's not an individual player, a particular team that comes to mind?
That's an interesting one.
Thumped you again.
I'm really thinking about this. As a whole,
yeah,
I think actually I don't really have it as a whole, but as individuals, I think the South Freo, actually don't know who it is, but South Freo last year, the game I played in league, only got 2 touches. Just so happened to position myself in the right spots. Those 2 were both goals, but yeah, I was only able to get 2 touches. So just so happened that those 2 were marked.
Sorry, what was that?
It just so happened that the 2 disposals that I got were marks. They were reasonably close to goal, so worked in my favour.
That's right. I mean, 2 goals is 2 goals. I mean, you look at the overview scorecard they put up on the big screen. It won't say when you dispose of it. It will just say you got 2 goals on there. But then
Yeah,
again,
that's
everyone.
true.
So it's always an off day for everyone, even the best. Now, teammates you've been impressed by, they kind of fly under the radar, Georgia, a little bit. They don't get appreciated as much as you feel that they should.
I actually have three in mind. I have to go with Kobe first. I think she does get a bit of praise, definitely from stepping up last year, playing positions she never did before. But yeah, no, I think her work rate on and off the ball is just, love about her game. Eva O'Donnell's another one. She's again had a few highlights and been praised for them, but definitely doesn't get praised enough for all of her hard work that she does. And then down in the forward line, I'd actually go with Charlotte Tomkin. I think she also doubts herself and gets in her head a bit sometimes when it comes to a few things. But nah, I always back her 100%. When the ball's around her, I'm like, she'll fight as much as she can to get that ball. Even she doesn't have height on her side, but you can't tell when she goes up because she'll try her hardest to half a contest, get in those ground balls. You know that she'll come out with a ball when it's a one-on-one and she's got the ground ball in her favour. And then again, contested marks, she'll be up there jumping her highest, trying to get on the other end of them. Even when I play on her in training, just her running patterns, running her efforts, everything about her game. I think even she has a left foot as well. And I think one of the games last year, she pretty much used her left foot the whole game and had 2 kicks on her right. So, definitely one to remember.
And this year, she goes in the other figure that you mentioned, also saying before too that she very likely will retire at the end of the year.
Yeah. We're all sad when she said that last year, but then she was like, I'm back for another season. Definitely glad to have her still here, but I know she's got a lot of goals and stuff to do outside of footy, and she's had a big footy and sport, I guess, career in general as well. So, just sad that she's started playing footy so late into the footy journey or sport journey.
She said she hadn't played for that long, but she's won a few premierships at the time, so it's pretty good. What are some fun facts, Georgia, about you?
Sorry, what? You cut out a bit there.
Some fun facts about you. I may not know.
I wouldn't really say it's a fun fact, but I'm studying PE teaching and outdoor ed teaching at uni right now. That's probably. I can play the piano a bit. Sorry, what? I couldn't hear you again.
You own a piano?
Still quite. Oh, it's cutting out.
Sorry for those technical difficulties. Just saying, Georgia, do you own a piano?
I have a keyboard, which is like a cheaper version of piano, but used to do that a lot more in school, but now I kind of just kind of just stopped, and then now every so often I'll look at it and be like, oh, I can still play this, and then probably sit there for like 5 minutes just having a play around, and then get bored and then go to something else.
That's good. I mean, I'm not going to actually demonstrate, but maybe that's another time. But in terms of the uni stuff, how has that gone for you? Obviously, you mentioned you're doing the PE stuff. How's it been for you? Always something that you're going to get into the field as
well. Sorry, did you say something about my the field that I want to do in uni? Yeah. That's definitely something I've always wanted to do. I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a teacher. Always loved sport in school. Tried as hard as I could to pretty much get a subject, like 3 sporting subjects in my year 12, which was cool. So I had like sport, outdoor ed, and I also, there's another fun fact, I used to dance as well at school. So I'd have one of those subjects before recess, before lunch, and then just before the end of the day. So it split up everything. Yeah, that was probably.
But now, defenders, do you feel like defenders deserve more love, George? Obviously, playing in that position now, do you feel they deserve it? Because the forwards at the Coleman, mids got the Brownlow, and rucks get recognised. Do you defenders need their own award?
Oh, we used to actually have an award at Claremont just for backs, but in the last 2 years, I think 2 years ago, we had Paige, who is a halfback. She won it, and then last year Claire, who was also a back, won our best and fairest. So definitely don't go unnoticed with us. I think they maybe go a bit unnoticed in AFL and AFLW, but maybe
Yeah.
The higher ones, I think definitely the midfielders are the ones that get noticed the most.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, the higher level, they definitely, in terms of higher honours, they don't really get anything their way in the higher levels. But anyway, that's it. Now, the most debatable Georgia food questions. I want to see how you go here. I've gone all right with some people with this. So, is it a chicken palmy or is it something else?
Is it a what?
Chicken palmy or something else?
I don't actually eat these, but from what I have heard and from what my sister says it's a chicken palmy.
Good answer. You want to know why I say that? Because it's spelled P-A-R-M-I, not Y, not A, not O, not E-Y, and every other variation people think it is. It's palmy. Now, that's good. 1 for 1. All right. Pineapple pizza, yes or no? Good.
Nope.
Good.
Nope,
Good answer. Great. It's disgusting. 2 out of 2. Good job. So you can get 3 for 3. Tomato sauce, cupboard or pantry? Oh, cupboard or fridge?
That's a hard one.
It is. If you had to make,
I have 2 houses, and at one house it's in the fridge and one house is at the pantry. And to be honest, by the time the fridge bottle gets on the counter, you've finished plating up everything, and by the time you actually put it on the plate, it's not really that cold anymore. So honestly, I'd say pantry, because then you're not having cold sauce on a hot food.
That's right. 3 for 3. Love it, Georgia. That's good. Right. Yeah. This is where this could break people's hearts. It could make people's spirits be rise. Who loves, I've already done that. If you're stuck on a deserted island, Georgia, with teammates, who would you want to bring and not want to bring?
I'd actually say my sister. I'd want to bring my sister with me. She's done a lot of outdoor ed stuff as well. So I think, although we'd disagree on a few things, we've got the knowledge compared to a lot of our teammates. Someone who I wouldn't want to bring. I don't know. I don't think anyone.
Well,
I don't think from my team. I think even if they wouldn't really help us with knowledge, I think entertainment would be not short.
That's good. Best chatterbox of the club, Georgia.
Adele Arnup and Emily Bonza. Those two together. Yeah.
Double trouble. Double trouble. Yeah. Who is the loudest and quietest teammates?
Loudest again, Dell. Even on the sideline, she didn't play all game last week, and I could hear her from the far side of the oval. She's definitely the loudest. The quietest. I'd go. Maybe Eva O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Kobe, kind of. Quietest. Yeah.
That's all right. That's a good list already. Some of your most prized possessions, Georgia?
I'd say both my premiership jerseys.
Yep.
My graduation, this is kind of funky. My graduation photo with my sister.
Nice.
I think that's and then obviously my premiership medals as well. And then I have a necklace, it's not on right now, that has a locket and it's got a photo of my nana who I lost just over a year ago. So yeah.
Sorry to hear that, but it's nice little memento things like that, as you said. It's nice. I've seen some of them where they're nice things like things you can open it up and the picture just pops out. So that there's nice things to commemorate people. Right, some more food questions. Favorite food?
If my sister watches this, she'll be like, "Why didn't you answer this faster?" I'd say I don't really have a favorite, but most consumed would probably have to be not the healthiest of things, but chocolate and hot chips. Definitely something I will eat a lot of.
Very good. I haven't, surprisingly, I haven't heard chocolate in this question before, so you're one of the first to say that. You're not the first. So I'm a bit surprised that wasn't a more common answer. Maybe people like it, but maybe I'm surprised there has been more answer. But anyway, food you don't like, Georgia?
Cheese. Which is quite funny. Yeah, I just can't eat it. Can't do it. No, that's on pizza, but then there can't be a lot of it.
Oh, I get you. So certain things.
Mayo.
Another one, yeah.
Mustard.
Okay, yeah, I'm not a fan of mustard either. I'm sure there's one person I'm good friends with, Georgia, who does not like cheese in pretty much the same way you said it, and that person will be up and about that you said that, because I've been crapping on them for ages, and so have some other people about that. So he will be very happy to hear that, Georgia. Now, best dish to cook if you do cook. If it's not a certain dish to cook, so something just nice and basic.
I'd have to go with my crumbed chicken. I do like crumb chicken. Or just this is one that I normally have after training, red creamy chicken and pasta.
Oh, nice. So sounds like you like the chicken a lot. Now, what's your favourite takeaway place?
Ooh.
Any particular
favorite? I think I'd have to be. Yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite. I have to be in the mood for a certain thing.
Yeah,
and then that would be my favorite place.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Now, I've heard the name, and you're going to be probably shocked because every WA girl bring this up who's shocked every time I say this. I know it now, just for clarity. I didn't know this probably 2 minutes ago. Sombreros. I keep hearing that. Do you like that place?
Sombreros.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, I actually had that today for lunch. Yeah, it's not bad. I will also again not have a lot from it, like when you get all the toppings. Yeah, I say no to a lot of things, but no, it's good.
That's good. Now, a few more questions for you, Joyce. I really do appreciate it coming on, because I know you got a busy day. If you were the AFL or AFLW CEO for a day, what rule would you change and or add?
I think if I was in, this wasn't part of the question, but if it was WAFLW, I'd get rid of the rule that they just added, which was anti-density. I get why, but I'm also like, it's kind of really annoying.
Is that the one with line you have to have 2 in it? Because I think Kobe or someone mentioned it recently, yeah.
Yeah. You have to have, in a stoppage, you have to have 1 inside 50 and 2 past halfway. Oh, sorry, not past halfway.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
I'd bring back the bounce at AFL level. They got rid of it because it was a bit uneven sometimes, but that's the whole part of the centre bounce. It's literally a bounce.
Yes, that's very true. Aren't they doing it for the first bounce of every quarter, though? It's just not during the quarter?
Oh, maybe they do.
Well, they definitely don't do it all. That's it. That's the one. So, celebrity crush.
Honestly, I don't really follow celebrities, so I could not answer that question.
Quirks someone would say that you have, Georgia, that you wouldn't necessarily like to admit.
Ooh.
Sometimes this can be a hard one sometimes.
Something that I wouldn't like to admit.
Or something that, say someone says that, you know, I don't know, hypothetically, I'm making this up, says, oh, well, you two, and you say, well, no, I'm not. Something like that, or is there nothing that jumps to mind?
Don't think so.
That's sometimes that is not sometimes. It is a good thing then. All right, okay. So how do you fancy yourself in front of the goals? Obviously, not only from that video you did, but obviously you used to play up forward. So how did you fancy yourself in front of the goals? And you did say earlier that you love the check sides.
That's definitely something I knew I could pull out sometimes, but nah. Inside 50 mark, and unless it's like a mark 40 to 50 meters out.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So
anyway, with a set shot.
That's good. What would you say is your max distance or average distance kick?
My average, I would say, 30 to 40 meters, maybe more. But I believe further. Yeah. But that's not average.
That's fair enough. I would believe you there because, again, I'm referring to the one game or session. But a lot of you guys, like I said earlier about the consistency and the accuracy in the set shots, was the distance of the kicks were not only just scraping over to, they were going well over those goals. So you add that, and that makes total sense. So you're not lying. That's true. All right. So last one. So I really do appreciate coming on. If you were able to map up, Georgia, a dream scenario for you this year, WAFLW, something potentially at the end of the year, what would it be for you?
I think it would be consistent league games, so league games throughout the year, and then potential train on for either Eagles or Freo. And then I do not want to say anything else apart from that. That is something that that's the first thing.
Okay. That's fair enough. I mean, I can understand why you don't want to say something about the season, because if something you say doesn't happen or some oppos list want to make sure to come back with a comment or two, so that's fair enough. I really do appreciate coming on. It's been great having you on again, technically. All the best for tomorrow. and the rest of the season. Hopefully, it's a good one for you girls down at Claremont. Appreciate coming on.
Thank you for having me, and thank you.
No worries, anytime.